back to the old furniture shop, I see you're looking at chairs. So just a little story behind these chairs. I was actually at the winter market and I was looking for products that I could offer to my customers. And I came across these chairs. You know, I was really impressed with them. They looked great. They were very high quality. And they were also, I could have them shipped partially unassembled, which makes them very affordable. The only thing that kind of surprised me, well, really surprised me, is that they weren't made in America. So there's, you know, there's the problem. Do I present these to my customers? I mean, you know I'm all about solid oak. You know I'm all about made in America. And here's these beautiful chairs that are solid oak, high quality, not made in America. So, you know, I decided to just take a chance with them. And also, you know, I thought, hey, let's bring some chairs in. I want to see how they're packed. I want to see how easy they are to assemble. And I want to see if I'm still impressed with them. And that's what I did, and I was still impressed with them, so I offer them to you, my customer. So I wanted to just take a couple minutes and give you some pointers on how to put them together and show you what you're going to get when you get your box in when you order the chairs. This is the box. They come in. They ship two to a box. I was surprised how well they were packaged and how nicely they came in. So let me open up the box and let's take all the pieces out and let me show you some pointers on how to put these together for you. So I have everything unwrapped, and this is basically what you're looking at for the chair. So first of all, you got the chair back. The chair back is completely assembled. And one thing that I noticed that I really liked right off the bat is that it's all, I don't know if you can see them in the video, but these are all screw inserts. So they have two screw inserts on each corner and then two in the back, and that's, I mean, that's a pretty good way to put chairs together. I was impressed with that, and as I put them together, very effective. So this is the seat, and in the instructions they tell you how to assemble the seat, but apparently they assemble them themselves, so that saves a lot of work. I chose the seat with a leather top, very nice looking, very good quality. Then these are the legs and the runners and the sides. All the hard work came through. The instructions as I went through made a lot of sense. I mean, instructions did a good job lining up which bolts. There's 3 different size bolts, and they tell you which bolts to put in which place, and that worked out really well. They give you a little bit of white glue. I prefer my yellow woodworking glue, so I didn't use that. And they give you a little tiny wrench, which, well, you know, you've used these things before. They're kind of hard to work with, but it's a number 12 millimeter, and so I just used my ratchet and a socket. Even if you have a number, you know, larger number 12 wrench. A 1/2-inch wrench actually works. 1/2 inch isn't exactly the same as a 12, but it'll probably work better than this little guy. So the first thing that I would suggest, I noticed when I was taking this apart that there was some finish. You know, these are the places that are glued, and there's a little bit of finish on those. So I just went around and I took a piece of sandpaper and I sanded some of that finish off. And you can spend as much time as you want on that. You don't want to take off too much because you want to make sure that you have a nice, you know, a nice tight joint. But I just went around and I just took some of the finish off so you have some bare wood there. And then the same on the other parts where those go into. I took like a scratch awl, and you got to be careful so you don't want to hit the outside, but I took a scratch awl and just scratched it up a little bit. And you probably don't have to do that, but I mean, with the wood glue, the glue is going to just hold that a little bit better. You get more of a permanent bond. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stage this, because you have these runners, and those just go right into these holes. Now again, there's 8 different chairs, and so they're all going to be assembled a little bit differently. But this looked like about the most complicated one because it had these side pieces here. And you just have to, there's 2 different runners on the bottom, they're different sides, and you know what, they're only going to go in one way. And it's kind of like a little jigsaw puzzle. And before I put any glues or screws, I just wanted to put this together to make sure. And make sure I have this right, put the front legs on. Because the first one I put together, when I staged it like that, I have it all backwards. It doesn't take you long to figure out it's backwards, because there's only one way that it's going to happen. So once you have it kind of staged, you can go, okay, this is how it's going to go together. And then from this point, you can put glues, get your glue in there. And then, so that's how it's going to go. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue all these joints, drive the screws, and then let's take a look at how to put the rest of it together. So I have this all staged together. I got all my glue in place and I'm ready to drive some screws. Now one thing really nice, when you put glue in, you don't want to put too much in because you're going to get a lot of run out. But the run out that you do get, the glue won't stick to this heavily finished surface. So any run out you get, you can just wipe it off and you'll never see it. So when you, what I did, I started, you'll see that there's pocket holes going around all these and pocket holes here. And so I just introduced my screws in those holes and make sure that you get the screws that fall right down into the pilot hole all the way before you try to drive them. And then when I did drive these, I didn't tighten them up all the way. I like to, just get them snug, and then once it's all together, then you can, I used a hand driver to tighten them down because one of the most important things, you don't want to over tighten anything because then you're just going to strip them. You don't want to do that. And then I do the centers first, and then I'll pull in the legs here. Okay, so now we want to do the bolts that are down in here. And again, there's 3 different size bolts, and the instructions make it very clear what size that you use. Okay, one of the other things that I like about these, they have 2 different washers. They have a lock washer, and then they have a flat washer. So you take your bolt, you put your lock washer on there first, and then put your flat washer. And I would suggest, highly suggest, getting them all started before you try to tighten any of them down. So one by one we're going to put those in. And again, everything is pre-drilled and they're going right into those screw inserts, so they go in pretty easy. Okay, I got all those 4 bolts started. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to screw them in a little bit, and then we'll come on back and we'll attach this to the back of the chair. Got the base all screwed together. We have these bolts in. Again, don't even snug them at this point. Just get them up there so that they're finger tight, so that this can move around a little bit. Put a little glue in these holes right here, and we're ready to put this into place. Very easily, it just slides right into place. Now, we're almost done. There's 6 bolts left. Now, the 2 shortest bolts are going to go right here. Again, short bolt, lock washer, flat washer. Get it started in place. It's kind of nice when all the holes just line up really well. You don't have to fight them at all. I suppose occasionally you're going to have one that's just the nature of the beast here whenever you're working with wood. It's always one that you might have to move things around a little bit. But overall, I was impressed how well they had everything lined up. Okay, so once you have it this far, I mean, basically this chair is assembled now. All you have to do is tighten everything up. And what I like to do, I don't know, if you ever changed a tire on a car, you know that when you're putting the bolts on, you don't just tighten one all the way and then tighten the other one all the way. You kind of go around and kind of back and forth. So you tighten one and then you go opposite and you just keep on working your way in it. I think that's the way that works best with these chairs too. You know, start here, snug them down and just work your way around. And what I did, I took like 3 trips around this whole thing and I just kept on tightening them down little by little. And that seemed to really pull the chair together and it was very effective. So that's what I'm going to do on it now. It took me, my first chair took me about 25 minutes to put together, and then once I had a couple other ones, I was able to do them in about 15 minutes, so it's not a real huge job. So I'm going to just keep on going around here, save a little film time. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, and then we'll come back and take a look at the finished product. So I have my bolts tightened down. I took my hand driver and I just went around and snugged up all these wood screws, and when I did that I realized I forgot to put wood screws in here. Remember when I laid this base on there? So don't forget that. Go ahead and get your wood screws on there. So now that everything is tight, this chair is tight. Oh, just one other thing. I like to put little felt pads on here, and there's not felt pads included in the box, but you can go to your Home Depot or Menards and buy little felt pads for the bottom. And it might even be an idea like a month or two after you have the chair to, you know, take your wrench again and go around and just snug these up again. Because, you know, it's wood, things loosen up, make sure that it stays sturdy. But here it is. Here is your chair, completely assembled. It doesn't take very long. The instructions were very easy to follow. And I think this is going to be a chair that will be really a nice chair for a long time. So I hope this was helpful. And if you got any other questions, just let me know. But I hope these chairs look very nice in your home. Have a great day.